4 days later, the Millennium Falcon dropped out of hyperspace above Dathomir, and the proximity indicator screamed in warning. Star destroyers littered the sky, while shuttles and barges plodded up from a small red moon in a solid line toward a huge mass of metal piping and struts. 10 kilometers of gleaming scaffolding that floated in space. Docked around it were thousands of craft. 1 superstar destroyer, dozens of old Victory-class models and escort frigates, thousands of box-like barges. For one moment, Han stared at them in awe, then muttered angrily, "Trespassers." Leia drew a deep breath. "Well, Han, you've certainly struck the jackpot this time. Why, this planet must have more enemy fighters than a hut has ticks." Han glanced over at Chewie. The Wookiee was trying to pull up the nav charts for the Otega star system. On the head-up holo display, 2 red fighters began vectoring up from a star destroyer. "Can of sarcasm, Princess, and get yourself up to the gunwale." Han nodded out the view screen to the TIE interceptors screaming toward them. The interceptors were coming into visual range, and Han couldn't rely on stealth anymore. He reached up to switch on the signal jammers. Han glanced over at Chewbacca. The navicomputer had gone down. As he watched, the run lights for the hyperdrive motivator died, along with the rear targeting computer. They wouldn't be jumping to hyperspace any time soon. Chewie growled in terror, and Han dipped toward the glittering shipyard, diving toward a Kuat escort frigate. All that metal would play hell with the interceptor sensors. Bolts of blue blaster fire ripped across the Falcon's prow, bounced off the hull as Leia returned fire. Huge beams of plasteel flashed past, and Han flipped the Falcon sideways to slip through the scaffolding. He locked his forward targeting computer onto the frigate's primary sensor array. Without active shielding on, the huge frigate was just another hunk of space debris, and Han's first blast enveloped the sensor array in blue lightning. Among the brightening mushroom clouds, Han reversed thrusters, fired 2 concussion missiles into the thin walkways that joined the frigate's monstrous engines with its forward arsenal. Chewie shielded his face in his hands as the Falcon slammed into the yawning hold of the frigate, and warning sirens screamed. The control panels darkened as the concussion shielding overloaded, then brightened again as it died. Both of the TIE interceptors screamed into the frigate and exploded. The corridor that the Falcon had crashed into filled with light and fire. That's the problem with those transparasteel windows on the TIE fighters, Han thought. The worthless things darken when they detect a blast, and then you can't see anything for the next 2 seconds. He'd counted on it. He flipped off his radio jamming, began shutting down the Falcon. Leia came running down the corridor. "What in hell do you think you're doing? You almost got us killed." "Listen." Han gestured for quiet. Between the concussion of the torpedoes and the fighters and a few well-placed ion blasts, the frigate's orbit was already destabilizing. The ship was peeling away from the docks as Dathomir's gravity wells sucked it down. "Oh, great," Leia said. "I'm supposed to be happy that we're going to crash into the planet instead of blow up in space?" No. Our concussion shielding should have kept us from damaging the Falcon too badly. Now that our sensor jamming is off, Chewie should be able to get the navicomputer back online. Meanwhile, Zinj's Navy thinks we crashed, and as the frigate drops toward the planet, we'll quietly move out of their interception range for 10 minutes or so. Plenty of time for us to plot a course. Then we'll just casually ease our way out of here and head for home. Trust me, I've done this before. Go ahead, Chewie. Turn the navicomputer back on. Show her. Chewie shot Han a nasty look and flipped the switch. The monitor stayed dim. Chewie frantically began testing other switches. The forward sensor arrays had been smashed during the crash, and the concussion shielding was gone. Hang on, folks. It's gonna be a rough ride down.